Ralph Stanley's high lonesome tenor is widely considered the greatest voice ever to emerge from Appalachia. The bluegrass icon and his band perform at 7:30 February 15th at Albuquerque's Lobo Theater. Tickets at Bookworks, Natural Sound, and online at abqmusic.com. Ralph Stanley also performs February 14th at the Santa Fe Brewing Company. This message sponsored by Southwest Roots Music, a tax-exempt organization.
From the heart of the Southwest in Albuquerque, New Mexico, this is Southwest Stages. I'm your host, John Strader. On this edition of Southwest Stages, we'll travel to the historic Lenzik Performing Arts Center in Santa Fe, New Mexico, for an evening with Ralph Stanley and the Clinch Mountain Boys. Born in 1927 in Virginia, Ralph and his brother Carter formed the seminal bluegrass band, the Stanley Brothers. They made a series of watershed recordings for Columbia Records from 1949 to 1952. Stanley has been performing music professionally for over 60 years, and in that time the Stanley Brothers and the Clinch Mountain Boys have become two of the most celebrated bluegrass groups in the world. During his long career, Stanley has recorded nearly 200 albums under many different names and different configurations. Enthusiasts in the folk, bluegrass, and country music circles have long revered him. Stanley's been thrust into the national spotlight with his work on the multiple Grammy Award-winning soundtrack, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? On the Oh Brother project, he worked with producer T-Bone Burnett, who calls Stanley one of the 2 or 3 most important figures in country music today. In 2002, he won 2 Grammys, one for Best Country Male Vocalist, beating out country icons Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Tim McGraw, Lyle Lovett, and Ryan Adams, and another Grammy for Album of the Year for his part in the Oh Brother, Where Art Thou soundtrack. Brought to New Mexico in April of 2006 by Southwest Roots Music, Ralph Stanley and the Clinch Mountain Boys made a stop at Santa Fe's historic Lenzik Performing Arts Center. Southwest Stages was there and recorded this American music icon for you, our listeners.
Here we go, all aboard for the Orange Blossom Special, last call.
So get ready for an hour of mountain music right here on an evening with Ralph Stanley and the Clinch Mountain Boys on this edition of Southwest Stages.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. A great big howdy to you. I'd like to welcome you to our old-time mountain music show, what they call bluegrass music. It's real good to be here in Santa Fe, Texas. New Mexico. Can you hear me all right? Okay. I'm going to introduce you to the Clinch Mountain Boys as they come up to pick and sing for you. And the young man over there that you heard do Katie Hill right there comes from the great state of North Carolina. And give a nice hand to Dewey Brown. Gentleman there on the Martin guitar, he plays the lead guitar as his main feature, but he's a pretty good singer too. So we may get him to come up and do a song first. He's been with me, I don't know how many times here in the last, he's been with me about 12 years. And we'd like for you to give a nice hand from Kingsport, Tennessee to James Shelton.
Well, I'm walking down the line. I'm walking down the line. Walking down the line, feet will be a-flying, telling about my troubled mind. I got a heavy-headed gal. I got a heavy-headed gal. Heavy-headed gal, she ain't doing well, but she's better only time will tell. Well, I'm walking down the line. I'm walking down the line. Walking down the line, feet will be a-flying, telling about my troubled mind. Money comes and goes. Money comes and goes. Money comes and goes, and it rolls and flows through the holes in the pockets of my clothes. Well, I'm walking down the line. I'm walking down the line. Walking down the line, feet will be a-flying, telling about my troubled mind. See the morning light. I see the morning light. Well, it's not because I'm an early riser. I didn't go to sleep last night. Well, I'm walking down the line. I'm walking down the line. Walking down the line, feet will be a-flying, telling about my troubled mind. Well, I'm walking down the line.
Well, I'm walking down the line.
Walking down the line.
Walking down the line.
Feet will be a-flying.
Feet will be a-flying.
Wanna walk down the line.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, James. I don't really know the name of that song, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's Walking Down the Line.
You'd be correct on that.
Now, folks, would like to introduce you to the 5-string banjo player here. He joined me about the same week or the same day that James did, and that's been 12 years ago, so he's been here with me every time I've been here since that time, and he's from the great state of Kentucky, and his name is Steve Sparkman. Make him welcome. Clinch Mountain backstep. That was a fine job, Steve.
Thank you, sir.
Good job. Now, folks, we'd like to move over to the far end over there with the bass fiddle. And that young man right there can hold his own most anywhere he goes. And he's a fine bass player. And he was born and raised in the state of West Virginia, lives in Ohio now. Give Danny Davis a good hand. Now here on the rhythm guitar, has been musically like it, you know, since I believe he sung a song with me on record when he was either 2 or 3 years old. I reckon he had music in him when he hit the ground. Well, he traveled with me, you know, but when he got up about 8 or 9 years old, he got a little bit mischievous with me. He thought he was the boss, I reckon. If I didn't do what he wanted me to or say what he wanted me to say, he'd slip up behind me and pinch me, kick me, and whatever. And you know, I'd take him home then and get me a switch and wear him out. But he's got down to business now, and he's recorded 4 CDs on his own. The last 2 were nominated for Grammys. And I'm proud of him. He's my son, Ralph Stanley II.
I hear choo-choo coming, it's coming down the track. It's taking away my darling, never to bring her back. My darling left me this morning. She left me feeling so blue. I'm gonna roll, rock, and ramble and try to forget all about you. I hear choo-choo coming, but it's coming down the track. It's taking away my darling, never to bring her back. Well, I know I can't forget her, so I won't even try. I will go through life wondering until the day I die. I hear choo-choo coming down the track. It's taking away my darling, never to bring her back. Lord, I know I can't forget her, so I won't even try. I'm going through life wondering until the day I hear choo-choo coming, but it's coming down the track. It's taking away my darling, never to bring her back.
The music of Ralph Stanley and the Clinch Mountain Boys, captured live at Santa Fe's historic Lenzik Performing Arts Center in April of 2006. I'm your host, John Strader, and you're listening to An Evening with Ralph Stanley and the Clinch Mountain Boys on this edition of Southwest Stages.
Folks, a young man on the mandolin, where's he at? Come on over here, young man, where you belong, it's your mag. You know, we played in a theater in Charlotte, North Carolina, a couple of weeks ago. And there's a lady came up to me and asked me how old he was. He was. Well, I said, look him over real good and tell me what you think. Well, she looked him over good. And she said, well, I'd say he's in his late 20s. And girls, if any of you might be interested, single girls that is, he's 13 years old. He's got a CD out on his own, an instrumental on the mandolin. He's been playing the mandolin about 2 years and been singing 2 months. And he's doing 2 songs on his CD, and it's really worth what he asked for. I'll get to that a little bit later. I want to brag on him a little first. He's my grandson, Nathan Stanley. He wrote that tune, called it Sandy Ridge, and named it after where he lives. He lives on a ridge called Sandy Ridge, so he wanted to make it popular, you know. And he said, tell you that he tuning didn't cost a penny extra. Now, folks, I'd like to introduce you to the great man that's been introducing all the Clinch Mountain Boys. Now, this fine young man has been in this business. This coming October the 16th will make 60 years. And during that 60 years, this fine young man has received a few awards. A couple of a dozen, I guess. So I'd like to tell you a few of them. We'll start off with 1976. This great man received a Doctor of Arts degree from the Lincoln Memorial University, Harrogate, Tennessee. In 1984, he got the National Heritage Award from the President of the United States. And as this great man grew a little bit older, he got the Living Legend Award from the Congress of the United States. This great man is from the state of Virginia, and for 2004, this fine man was voted the Virginian of the Year. Yeah. And for 2002, he won a Grammy for the best country now, vocalist, not bluegrass, but country vocalist. And he was proud of that. And let me see now if there's anything else. Well, thank you. Anything else, Nathan? Where is Nathan? Boy, he's let me down tonight. So I'll have to hush. So folks, if you would, give me Dr. Ralph Stanley a nice hand. John Henry was a little bitty boy, no bigger than the palm of your hand. His mammy cried out that lonesome farewell. John to make no steel driving man, Lord, Lord. John to make no steel driving man. When they invented that big steam drill, they thought they had something fine. John Henry sunk her 14 feet. Steam drill only sunk her 9, Lord, Lord. Steam drill only sunk her 9. John Henry told a shaker, shaker, you'd better pray. For if I miss that little piece of steel, tomorrow'll be your bearing day, Lord, Lord. Tomorrow'll be your bearing day. John Henry had a loving little wife. A dress that she wore was blue. The last words I heard that little woman say, Johnny, I've been true to you, Lord, Lord. Honey, I've been true to you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Now I'd like to do you an a cappella song that I had the privilege of recording on the soundtrack of Old Brother, Where Art Thou? Oh, death. Oh, death. Won't you spare me over till another year? Well, what is this that I can't see with ice cold hand taking hold of me? Well, I am death, none can excel. I'll open the door to heaven or hell. Oh, death, someone would pray, could you wait to call me another day? The children prayed, the preacher preached, time and mercy are out of your reach. I'll fix your feet till you can't walk. I'll lock your jaws till you can't talk. I'll close your eyes till you can't see. This very hour, come and go with me. Death, I come to take the soul, leave the body and leave it cold, to drop the flesh right off the frame. The earth and worms both have a claim. Oh, death, oh, death, won't you spare me over till another year? Won't you spare me over till another year? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you. You know, T-Bone Burnett from Hollywood, California, produced that soundtrack on Old Brother, Where Art Thou? And after it sold about, I believe, 10 million CDs, he asked me if I would do a whole CD by myself, singing some of the old-time songs, and I did. And it's released now on Columbia Record, and there's a gentleman requested one of the songs that's in that CD right now, and I'll do it right now, called The Girl from the Greenbrier Shore. Was in the year of 92, in the merry month of June, I left my mother and my home so dear to go with a girl from the Greenbrier Shore. My mother dear, she said to me, said, son, don't you go, don't leave your mother with a broken heart, to go with a girl. But I was young and reckless too. I craved reckless life. I left my mother and my home so dear, and I chose that girl to be my wife. Dark and curly too. Her loving eyes were blue. Her lips were like a red, red rose. That girl I love from the Greenbrier Shore. Months rolled on, years go by. She left me all alone. Now I remember what my mama said. Never trust that girl from the Greenbrier Shore.
The music of Ralph Stanley and the Clinch Mountain Boys, captured live at Santa Fe's historic Lenzik Performing Arts Center in April of 2006. I'm your host, John Strader, and you're listening to An Evening with Ralph Stanley and the Clinch Mountain Boys on this edition of Southwest Stages. Stay tuned to the second half of the program for much more mountain music coming up right after this short break.
Living on the road ain't easy. A man can really get the blues. If I live up to my name, I'll have to fill some mighty big shoes. The Stanleys wore some mighty big shoes. They sang about God in heaven. They sang about mom and home. They sang about everyday living. I'm just trying to carry on and maybe get a name of my own. My daddy is a living legend.
Ralph Stanley's high lonesome tenor is widely considered the greatest voice ever to emerge from Appalachia. The bluegrass icon and his band perform at 7 and 9 p.m. February 14th at the Santa Fe Brewing Company. Tickets at the Lenzik box office, 505-988-1234, or online at thirstyearfestival.com. Ralph Stanley also performs February 15th at Albuquerque's Lobo Theater. This message sponsored by Southwest Roots Music, a tax-exempt organization.
Do Little Benny. And folks, I'm sorry about my mandolin a while ago, but it got all tuned and I couldn't play a hardly bit. Just look over me.
Yeah.
One night as the stars were all shining, Little Benny knelt down by his bed. He asked the dear Lord to forgive him for all the bad words that he said. Please, Papa, don't whip Little Benny. Please, Papa, don't whip Little Ben. He's little and he wants you to love him. Please, Papa, don't whip Little Ben. Those very bad words that he said, he learned from some old wicked men. He was little and he didn't know better. Please, Papa, don't whip little Ben. Please, Papa, don't whip little Benny. Please, Papa, don't whip little Ben. He's little and won't you love him? Please, Papa, don't whip little Ben. Oh, what if dear Mama in heaven should be looking way down from the sky and see you whip little Benny? I know it would make Mama cry. Please, Papa, don't whip little Benny. Please, Papa, don't whip little Ben. He's little and he wants you to love him. Please, Papa, don't whip little Ben.
Good job there, Nathan. That made up for you fell up on the mountain. Folks, Nathan, Ralph the second right here, and me's 3 generations on the stage tonight. If I live until Saturday, February the 25th, that's the day after tomorrow, I'll be 79 years old. And during that 60 years that I've been playing and singing, I've recorded over 200 long play albums or CDs now. I guess 40% has been gospel songs. I like to sing hymns, gospel music. Y'all like to hear it? I'd like to do you a couple right now, and we'll do one that's on that T-Bone Burnett CD that he produced, and it's called Lift Him Up. That's all. When Jesus was around here on this land, he certainly did do his Father's command, because he knew that he was his Father's only Son. He came to draw men unto him. Oh, lift him up, that's all. Lift him up in his word. If you'll tell the name of Jesus everywhere, if you'll keep his name a-ringing everywhere that you go, he will draw men unto him. When Jesus met the woman at Jacob's well, he certainly did have a sweet message to tell. The woman commenced to wonder, because he was a Jew, he came to draw men unto him. Oh, lift him up, that's all. Lift him up in his word. If you tell the name of Jesus everywhere, if you keep his name a-ringing everywhere that you go, he will draw men unto him. When he asked her for some water, her sin she tried to hide. She commenced telling the Savior all about race pride. But woman, if you only knew the gift of God, I came to draw men unto me. Oh, lift him up, that's all. Lift him up in his word. If you'll tell the name of Jesus everywhere, if you keep his name a-ringing everywhere that you go, he will draw men unto him. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now I'll get all the Clinch Mountain boys to join me in this another hymn that we have on Rebel Records, and we have Hitting Stock back there if anybody likes gospel music as you go out after we finish our show. And this one's called A Robin Build a Nest on Daddy's Grave. Springtime is a-comin' in the mountain, by a river on a hill where Daddy lay. All the songbirds were singing, and a robin built a nest on Daddy's grave. I planted that rose some time ago. Oh, the rose, how it did grow. Springtime has come, I'm glad to say, and a robin built a nest on Daddy's grave. Oh, the rosy bloomed so red and shed its beauty o'er that bed. Then a robin came one day, and there she built a nest on Daddy's grave. I planted that rose some time ago. Oh, the rose, how it did grow. Springtime is come, I'm glad to say, and a robin built a nest on Daddy's grave. Oh, the rose, how it bloomed. I believe the Lord is coming soon. That's what the rose it seemed to say. And a robin built a nest on Daddy's grave. I planted that rose some time ago. Oh, the rose, how it did grow. Springtime has come, I'm glad to say, and a robin built a nest on Daddy's grave. And a robin built a nest on Daddy's grave.
The music of Ralph Stanley and the Clinch Mountain Boys, captured live at Santa Fe's historic Lenzik Performing Arts Center in April of 2006. Ralph Stanley's music, tour dates, biography, and other information is available at ralphstanley.com. I'm your host, John Strader, and you're listening to An Evening with Ralph Stanley and the Clinch Mountain Boys on this edition of Southwest Stages.
You know, Ralph II, sometimes he takes the Clinch Mountain Boys out and does shows. I stay at home, you know. I don't like to go all the time. They do, you know. They're a little bit younger than I am. And we're going to get him to come up here now and do about 3 or 4 songs, Ralph, and show the folks. You might come out here by yourself sometime. Show them just what you've got, and I'll guarantee it's good. Wait till he shows you.
Well, thank you, Dad. I appreciate that. I'd like to do a number that we had recorded on one of my earlier albums, and it's an old timer called Katie Daly. Do it, kick us off. We told a man she came from Temporary in the pioneer days of 42. Her old man was shot in Tombstone City for the making of this good old mountain dew. Oh, come on down the mountain, Katie Daly. Come on down the mountain, Katie Daly. Can't you hear us calling Katie Daly? We want to drink your good old mountain dew. Wake up and pay attention, Katie Daly. I am the judge who's gonna sentence you. All the boys in court has drunk your liquor. Tell the truth, I drink a little. Oh, come on down to Mountain Katy. Come on down to Mountain Katy. Can't you just call it Katy? We want to drink your good old milk. So to the jail at your Fort Katy Day. Very soon the gates were open wide. Angels came to Fort Katy Day. Took her far across the Great Divide. Oh, come on down to Mountain Katy Day. Come on down to Mountain Katy Day. Can't you just call it Katy Day? We want to drink your good old milk. Steve, how about picking us up a little bit? Or a whole lot, rather. See if you can do that for us. We'll do one more chorus of this. Oh, come on down to Mountain Katy. Come on down to Mountain Katy. Can't you just call it Katy? We want to drink your good old milk. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'd like to say that I had to miss last year. Didn't get to come here last year, but I was here a few years ago, or whenever it was. And some years run together after you do this so long you don't really remember where you are or where you're at tonight sometimes. But I was at the Grammy Awards. I was nominated for a Grammy last February at Grammys in Hollywood, L.A. And I'll do you two songs now that was on that CD. And the first one we'll do is another old-timer about running or drinking moonshine, I guess. This is one called Good Old Mountain Dew. We hope you enjoy this one. Down the road here from me, there's an old holler tree where you lay down $1 or two. Go around and bend and come back again. There's a jug full of that good old Mountain Dew. Oh, they call it that old Mountain Dew. And them that refuse it are few. I'll shut my mug and fill up my jug. Good old Mountain Dew. Now, Mr. Roosevelt told him just how he felt when he heard that the drought all go through. If your liquor's too red, it'll swell up your head. You better stick to that good old Mountain Dew. Oh, they call it that old Mountain Dew. And them that refuse it are few. I'll shut my mug and fill up my jug. Good old Mountain Dew. Well, my Uncle Bill's got a still on the hill where he runs off a gallon or two. The birds in the sky get so drunk they can't fly, smelling that good old Mountain Dew. Oh, they call it that old Mountain Dew, and them that refuse it are few. I'll shut my mug and fill up my jug. Good old Mountain Dew. Now my brother Mort, he sawed off in short, he measured about 4 feet 2. But he thinks he's a giant when you give him a pint. Good old Mountain Dew. Oh, they call it that old Mountain Dew, Dew, Dew. And them that refuse it are few, few, few. I'll shut my mug, fill up my jug. Good old Mountain Dew. appreciate that. Old Danny Davis has done a good job. He not only can dance, he can also sing a little tenor. Give Danny another hand there for singing tenor with me there. Does a good job on that stuff, that old stuff.
And now Nathan said he had a request to do another tune on the mandolin. Where's my coat sleeve at? And he says he's in tune this time. And this is one of the tunes that's on his CD. And what's the name of it, Nathan?
I'll Fly Away.
I'll Fly Away. Good job, Nathan. That mandolin was in good tune then.
Rolling my sweet baby's arms, rolling my sweet baby's arms, all around the shack till we're drinking back, rolling my sweet baby's arms. Where were you last Friday night while I was lying downtown? Walking the streets with another man, wouldn't even go my bed. Rolling my sweet baby's arms, rolling my sweet baby's arms, all around the shack till we're drinking back, rolling my sweet baby's arms. Ain't gonna work on the railroad, ain't gonna work on the farm. Lay around the shack till the mail train gets back, rolling my sweet baby, rolling my sweet baby's arms, rolling my sweet baby's arms. Lay around the shack till the mail train comes back, rolling my sweet baby's arms.
sweet baby song.
Well, that's all the time we have on this edition of Southwest Stages. You've been listening to An Evening with Ralph Stanley and the Clinch Mountain Boys, captured live at the historic Lenzig Performing Arts Center in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I'd like to thank Ralph Stanley for allowing Southwest Stages to record his performance for this broadcast. I'd also like to thank some of the people who made this show possible. Thanks to Mike Coster and Southwest Roots Music, Miguel Castillo, Orion and Santa Fe Audio Visual, and the staff and crew at the Lenzig Performing Arts Center. I'd like to take this time to thank our volunteer staff and crew. Thanks to Engineer and Technical Director Chip Borton, Engineer and Operations Manager Nola Daves Moses. Special thanks to Daphne Strader and Gail Harvey for all of their help and support. The audio engineer and remix provided by Chip Borton. Southwest Stages program schedule, member stations, broadcast times, services, and other information is available at southweststages.org. I'm John Strader, the producer and host of Southwest Stages. Thank you so much for listening. Tune in next week as we hit the road in search of more great live music from around the Southwest, right here on Southwest Stages.
Here we go, all aboard for the Orange Blossom Special. Last call.
Ralph Stanley's high lonesome tenor is widely considered the greatest voice ever to emerge from Appalachia. The bluegrass icon and his band perform at 7 and 9 p.m. February 14th at the Santa Fe Brewing Company. Tickets at the Lenzig box office, 505-988-1234, or online at thirstyearfestival.com. Ralph Stanley also performs February 15th at Albuquerque's local theater. This message sponsored by Southwest Roots Music, a tax-exempt organization.
Next time on Southwest Stages, we'll celebrate Mardi Gras by throwing a big party of our own. Get ready for a Mardi Gras party with the Neville Brothers, Terrence Simeon and the Zydeco Experience, Big Chief Bo Dallas and the Wild Magnolias, Beau Soleil, and Henry Butler. So tune in for our Mardi Gras special on the next edition of Southwest Stages.